Time for business now, and another busy day on the markets. Nona Peltier has joined us to break it all down for us. Nona.
Well, I'll do my very best, but some of it might be a little over my head.
I doubt that very much. Okay, so Reserve Bank has moved to help the financial markets cope better. What's happened?
Yeah, so the U.S. Federal Reserve has done a deal with 9 countries to swap collateral in exchange for U.S. dollars.
Yep.
So basically, they're saying you guys need more U.S. dollars to settle your accounts because, you know, we're an export-led nation and we need those U.S. dollars because commodities are traded in U.S. dollars. And we spoke yesterday about how there weren't enough U.S. dollars and that was driving up demand for them and also the price because everything has a price. So overnight, the Reserve Bank had, as one of the parties to this deal, as is Australia, Mexico, Brazil, and Sweden, a few others. Well, there were 9 in all, and we got $30 billion, an access to $30 billion U.S. dollars, and that has allowed New Zealand to provide for the flow of that currency. So it's opened up the market so that people have the ability to transact their buys and sells, basically, and which is great. That helped the New Zealand dollar in a way that was, you know, just as spectacular as the fall we saw. So we saw that New Zealand dollar fall to levels we hadn't seen since 2009, and we saw the Australian dollar fall to levels that not seen for almost 18 years. That's now reversed a little bit. And
so what were we down to, about 55?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yesterday, but we'd gone further down than that. At the moment, one of these papers has my numbers on them. Yeah, 57.4. So we gained a couple cents at least from yesterday, and when I was last looking, the dollar was still trending up, and again against the Australian dollar, it settled back. So we're like about 98 Australian at the moment. So we lost like it. So we basically all of this moving around. Now, when I say all this moving around, these are big, in fact, percentage movements. And
yeah, because people will look at the cents
and they'll say that's not much.
Yes.
But it is a lot when you consider all the moving parts, everything moving around. Now, that helped the markets. We saw the New Zealand market open very strongly on this Reserve Bank deal because that helps everybody, right? And but then, for some reason, unlike the rest of Asia, we soured somewhat, and the gain we had early morning, which was the NZX was up 1%, a little bit more actually. But this afternoon, it was down, and I thought, wow, gee, I wonder what happened here, because the rest of the market seemed to be up. But then, just like within the last 15 minutes before the market closed, it went from down 0.3% up 0.3%, and then it finished up exactly where it started, up 1%. Goodness knows. I mean, it's hard to keep up.
Every day's a roller coaster
Hard
ride.
to keep up. And that's just like in 15 minutes. So, yeah, it's really extraordinary.
And so we finished up with the points and...
so I'll give you guys those numbers. But look, there's some things that... A lot of other things were moving around.
Air New Zealand was happening and all the rest of it.
So Air New Zealand was in a trading halt for 4 days, as we know. And then they came back to the market with a deal that the government had made. Well, the government being a shareholder. So the deal is really a transaction. Try not thinking about it as a government bailout, but as a shareholder bailout, more to the point, which is still us, but it's a little bit different.
It's a crown loan. It's taxpayers' money.
Well, yes, except that it's being repaid at a very hefty interest rate of something like about 7%. So it's not exactly a gift. Air New Zealand's going to have to earn the money to pay that back. And it's going to be tough because their flights, and I'm sure we've heard already that internationally, last week they were talking about how the virus had knocked about 10% of their
and it's worse,
revenue. About 85% now of their international revenue, and something between 60 and 70% of their domestic. And they're expecting to see further falls there. So even though, it's a good deal, Air New Zealand's going to continue to trade, they opened up once the trading held down 45%, and they finished down about 36%. Massive numbers.
Yeah.
And Tourism Holdings was another company that came.
So this is your camper van.
These are the camper van people came back today and said, okay, look, we're not going to pay our dividend, and we're going to cut our directors' fees by 50%, plus the chief executive's salary for the next 4 months by 50%. Our executive salaries are going to be cut by 30%. We're going to have to lay off some staff, et cetera, et cetera. But the market liked that. It finished up 12%.
Up 12%. We should mention Air New Zealand also canned, part of the deal is that they can their interim dividend and
all that other stuff.
And the full year gone.
But we had some of that stuff earlier. Yeah. So there's so much we could probably spend 15 minutes just talking about their last trading update.
Yeah.
And Michael Hill, again, they came back with an update today which said they were going to close all of their Canadian stores. On the guidance of the Health Canada. And then they said, foot traffic is down everywhere, but finished up 32%. I don't know what.
Maybe they're relying on online sales anyway.
I have no jewel. Well, it's gold, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. Okay. So overall then, ended up, NZX Top 50 Index ended up the week 1%, today rather, 87 points up to 9,202.
Right. So we're hovering around that 9,000 mark. Yeah.
Well, for now, but don't worry. 12,000 is still, in our history now. So we will get back there, I'm sure, one day. And then in late afternoon trading, the key was trading at 57.4 US cents, 98 Australian, and always steady at 49.4 British pounds.
Thanks, Nona. Nona Pelletier with our market update.